Yo, it's Big Guap Fiend. You now tuning in. I told you so. Don't act like I didn't tell you when I fucking see you. And I got a very special guest to the left of me, Housephone. Come on, man.
What's up?
Come on, man. This is big for me. You know what? Let me. I didn't really get to tell you this off camera, but you know, I've been a supporter of your movement ever since I first got a glance of like what you got going on, and you definitely inspired me to like, you know, why can't I sit behind this microphone and do my shit? So, you know,
that's what it's about, bro. That's what it's about.
Exactly. It's inspiring the next one, right?
Nah, that's a fact.
That part. So, you know, we live in LA. LA is an interesting place, a cesspool of different people, different vibes. The common thing that happens when you go to a party is they'll ask you, "Oh, what do you do?" So when you answer that question, what do you say?
You know, it really depends because like sometimes I don't have time to explain everything that I do because I do a lot of different things. Right. So it's like, nigga, ask me that, I might say 5 different things. You feel me? But
right.
I don't know. Like the short version, I guess, would just be like, oh, I make music, I do a podcast, and I have a clothing brand, and I leave it at that.
Right.
You feel me? But like even those 3 things, it's like. You could break down much more in between those 3 layers. You feel me? There's layers behind all this shit. You feel me? But I'm just a nigga that's gonna get it done regardless. You know?
Come on. Say that. So okay, I want to give the people, you know, some people who are watching probably know you. People who don't, I want to give them a little background story. So, what part of LA you from?
I'm from Hawthorne, born and raised. Well, not born, but raised.
Okay, born and raised. Okay, raised in Hawthorne.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about your upbringing.
Shit, man. Well, I was born in San Diego, but I didn't live there at all. We moved to South Central when I was like a kid. Then we moved to Hawthorne. Shit, you know, just regular shit, bro. I just was going to school, hanging out with friends and shit. And then I feel like once I got like towards the latter part of high school, that's when I kind of start experimenting a little more. I started like, you know, doing bad shit and getting kicked out. Well, I can't even say the latter half because I got kicked out. I got expelled in like 9th grade actually. So,
fuck.
But like I was just
dumb shit or what?
I was just a class clown type kid, just making too many jokes. Making those jokes would also get me into fights, but then I wasn't no bitch, so I'm fighting too. So it's like ditching class, going to hang out with girls and smoke weed and shit. So like I wasn't like necessarily bad. I don't think like looking back on it, I'm like, bro, there was niggas like bringing guns to school.
Right,
and shit.
exactly.
Or like bringing knives to school and shit. I wasn't on no crazy shit like that. I was just, you know, but I feel like my rap sheet was just so long in school that it was like they had to get me out of there. You feel me?
Right.
But yeah, you know, I was just kind of mischievous teenager.
Yeah. Were you like a skater like that or what? Yeah,
but like I can't even like. It would be in bad faith for me to even act like I was even remotely any kind of good because like the skate park I grew up at, we had like fucking Furby and Antoine Dixon and fucking Theodis Beasley, like all these actual famous all the Odd Future niggas. Right. So like for me, like even like my homies that wasn't professional skaters, like they were so fucking good that I would be sitting here and lying if I could even act like I was even anywhere near an actual skater. Because them niggas, my homies was really raw. You feel me? Like them niggas was going crazy.
Yeah.
So shout out to the dirty, man. Shout out to the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking Inglewood Ave and 120th Skate Park. You feel me? If y'all know, that's the area. You feel me?
Yeah. Well, I think we're kind
Eucalyptus Park is the.
There you go. Shout out Eucalyptus Park. I know we're kind of like in the same age group, so I know that being in LA, there's 3 things. Like you're gonna try to rap one time. Yeah. You're going to skate a little. And you might fuck around, try to tag a little bit. You know what I mean? These are the 3 things. Shit. Like, come on, man.
It's like you're gonna fall into one of them, or you're gonna be a full-fledged gangbanger.
Gangbanger, exactly.
either one of the 3.
Right. So okay. You mentioned earlier the 3 things that you do. You make music, you have a podcast, and you make clothes. So which one of these 3 came into your life first? Well,
I gotta just be completely honest and say I always thought like. Being a rapper was so corny because everybody wanted to do it, bro.
Yeah.
Especially growing up in LA, everybody thought that they was nice. Everybody, like, there's studios everywhere. So people even got to the point to where, like, they weren't just freestyling on the corner no more. They were going to the studio and making actual songs. And just everybody wanted to be a rapper, bro. I thought that shit was so weak.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I fell into it, but that's what I started doing first. I started making music first. And, I actually started ghostwriting first for this girl that I went to school with.
Okay.
And that's actually how I met my manager. That was her brother-in-law. And then he kind of like took me under his wing and was like, yo, like, let's focus on your own solo career. And we started the whole Housephone thing just with that. And the music thing was first though, for sure.
Sure. Oh, okay, so we didn't talk about this either. Where does the name come from? I know you probably talked about it before.
Yeah. No, it's all good. So like basically back in the day, I was the type of nigga I would always just be trying to finesse something or finagle something, even if it was like from my own like household or something. So like I remember shout out to my nigga Rocket the Goon, bro. My nigga Rocket, he's like friends with Trippie Redd and all them, whatever. Like I went to high school with him.
Oh, Rocket, I know Rocket. Yeah. Shout out him.
So I remember one time I had a sidekick, like my mom had just got me or some shit, and Rocket had these. So mind you, when I went into high school, I was very much like still dressing like everybody else, like just niggas at the mall and shit like that in like middle school. Once I got to high school though, I met like Rocket and them and like these other niggas that was on like the like Fairfax like skater swag. Like they had the upgraded swag that I didn't know about. You feel me? So Rocket was like, I'll trade you the sidekick for these SBs. And it was like 3 different pairs of SBs. Now mind you, if I still had those SBs to this day, that would have been a fucking great trade.
Yeah.
So anyway, I traded him the sidekick for the SBs. And then I remember I like ripped my shirt and I came home like, Mom, I got robbed from my phone. They robbed me from my phone. Yeah. And she just knew, my mom always knew when I was lying, bro. Like she just had that motherly instinct, right? And then she found the backpack. I had like an extra backpack with the shoes in it that I traded. And then she found the backpack with the shoes in it. And she's like, you think I'm fucking stupid? So like, basically from me doing that, my mom was like, I'm not getting you no more phones. Like you always losing these phones, breaking them. Now you fucking trading them. Like, I'm not getting you no more phones. So like the next time I had a phone after that, I had to like, I think I had a summer job or something like that. And I bought my own phone. And basically we were just on bullshit, bro, where like me and the homies would be stealing phones and like getting them jailbroken. And like sometimes they only worked on Wi-Fi. You can only text people on iCloud and shit like that. So the name came from that, from like, it really used to be hard to get in contact with me. And if you didn't have an iPhone, I couldn't call you. I can only text you. I would call people on my house phone. And like my friend said that as a joke to me one time. Cause like, remember when it was like every rapper was Lil something, Lil this, Lil that. For sure. So my homegirl, Gloria, called me Lil Housephone as a joke. Cause like you had to call me on the house phone type shit. And it just stuck. I thought it was funny and it just stuck. You feel me?
Right.
And yeah, I just went with it as a joke.
Yeah. Okay, so then and the birth of a Lil Housephone.
Nah, facts. Remember I was telling you I was ghostwriting for this girl. So she basically quit rapping. And then my manager Josh was like, well, like, let's make some shit for you. Like, what are you gonna call yourself? And I just was like, Lil Housephone.
Damn.
And I made a song about being like Lil Housephone, and then boom, that was it.
Come on.
Yeah, man.
So obviously things progressed from there. Was there, how did you feel like when people first started hearing like, oh, bro's making music and doing his thing? Like, how'd you get like, what were the people's reactions?
Well, like, I feel like I always had a foot in the door a little bit because I just used to be outside so much. So before I was doing any of this, I would be going to the local parties and shit. And there was this party called Ham on Everything that was super big.
Legendary,
Legendary. If you know, you know. But like all the big rappers, they had their first LA shows with Ham on Everything.
Yeah.
So people just knew me from going there. Like I would go there and just be turning up, selling people drugs and shit. And like I'm in the mosh pit, I'm stage diving and shit like that.
Yeah.
So by the time I started making my own music, the guys that threw shout out to Adam and Adam Goes Ham and what's her name? Adam and I forgot his name, but he Romo. Shout out to Adam and Romo from Ham on Everything. But they was fucking with me so hard because I just used to bring that energy. That I had one song recorded, bro. That one song that I made, they used to spin that shit and just throw me the mic and let me perform.
Damn.
The first time I ever performed was it was I Don't Know Jeffrey, Black Cray, Chris Travis and Lil Uzi Vert, and I went on right before Lil Uzi Vert.
Nuts.
Like just off the random, bro.
Right.
So like, you feel me? Like I have to show love to those type people because, like there was nothing to even be taken seriously yet, and they were just giving me an opportunity and giving me a chance. So shout out to them, man. But yeah, like I feel like that's a big thing that's been lost nowadays, is because like everything is just so internet, and like obviously like you need the internet to be able to navigate and shit, but like, bro, I had those real life connections that which is what gave me like that extra boost or the extra platform. I even met Adam22 at the Ham on Everything parties. You feel me? So it's like all that shit, it's all just a big network of who you know and 100%. How you meet people and all that shit like that. You feel me?
I remember I think the first one I went to was like, I think Famous Dex was like the headliner.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Dexter.
That part. He was doing the little fucking dances. I think he just got to LA. He was like living in the valley or whatever, doing his thing. But Ham on Everything was a big movement. I wonder what they got going on these days.
You know, I think they still throw parties, but I feel like they kind of moved away from the rap scene.
Right. I think they went more EDM type shit with it. Yeah.
Which I low-key never understood. Just because it's like, bro, they had the rap shit on lock so crazy.
Yeah.
But I will say, if we being honest, it probably was like a more like stressful.
Exactly.
Probably a more stressful thing for them.
100%.
So like now that I'm older, I kind of understand, but it's like, damn, bro, they had that shit on lock.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, man.
So okay, that's a great segue into this. So the music is go, you know, you're starting to see like, okay, people are reacting to this music.
Yeah. It was still very early on.
Super early. And then and you said you met Adam at one of these shows.
Yeah, one of those parties type shit. And like, by that point, like, bro, I'm very internet savvy. I'm very like, even to this day, like I pay attention to every fucking thing. Like all these new young rappers and the new, like I said, I was already subscribed to you before you even hit me up. You feel me? So like, I'd definitely be tapped in, bro. You feel me? So like, I already knew who he was before he even like knew who I was. You feel me?
Right.
Like, I had already watched the fucking Ian Connor interview.
Right.
Suicide Boys and shit like that. And I met Adam in like the first year of his inception of No Jumper, I'm pretty sure. Like, so anywhere from like 2015 to 2016, something like that.
So, and you know, I think it's interesting because regardless, and we'll get to that too, but regardless of where it is right now, but it's interesting that you were there at the inception, because I think that time and period of hip hop, not only in LA, but just in general, it was this, you know, pre-SoundCloud a little bit, like going into that world, and things were happening. How would you describe that era, that beginning era?
Shit, man, it's just crazy because like it was so much new music coming out, and like now there's more music that's being put out, but I feel like there was more quality new music coming out back then. Yeah, and it was just like. It was like being a kid in a candy store every day. Like I was waking up and just finding new music or finding new shit and putting my friends on like, yo, you gotta listen to this, or like showing new videos and shit like that. And yeah, man, I just feel like it was super special back then. Like, I don't know, man. It was a different feel. I don't know what about it was so different, but like maybe just because I was younger and it was like, maybe so, you know, just eyes wide open, just like, wow, oh my God, look at this. But like, I remember I used to go to those like Sesh Hollow Water Boys fucking shows, and like, you know, I watched them go from like warehouse shows to like the fucking, damn, what was that venue called, dude? And they shut it down. It was on Sunset, a House of Blues, like the House of Blues shows, and like all these like random warehouse shows and sweaty fucking mosh pits and stage diving and shit like that, bro. It was like, it really felt like a community. And that's why I felt like I was able to thrive and shit like that, because it was the same people going to the same shows. You'll see the same girls, the same rappers, like same everything, bro. It was like a real sense of community, which I feel like there's no sense of community anymore. 100%. But it definitely was like everybody was intertwined in some type of way. You feel me? Yeah.
Well, some of the younger kids who come and record over here, they be putting me onto like, they be on like Discords now and stuff, and they have like a whole community that way. You know what I mean? So
that's not the same as like a real life community.
100% not. 100%. Like, you know?
Like we going, like these niggas is dropping a flyer Monday and everybody is going to the show on Friday. Right. You feel me? Yeah. And like, it's just, that part's not the same, but I also you just got to understand that things evolve, and like it don't have to work that exact same way. Yeah. But that's just how I came up, and it was just like, it was a very beautiful thing to just like relate to people in real life.
Sure.
You know
so what looking back at that, like what was the value that you were adding, you know, to the beginning of No Jumper? Where do you think you fit in that puzzle?
To be honest, bro, like if I'm really, really being honest, like I could say that I don't know. Cause like I'm putting myself back in that place of back then when I met bro, and I genuinely just think that he just I think he just wanted some like cool young black dudes around. Yeah. To be honest, to be honest, I really think that he just thought I was funny,
right?
And like at that point, I had never thought about being on a fucking podcast. Now I watch podcasts,
right.
I would watch shit like that, but I never thought about being on something like that.
Sure.
I genuinely met that nigga out partying. I think I was doing some coke with some girls. He walked into the little backroom part. I was like, "Yo, want a bump?" That's how we met.
Okay.
And that's how we started talking. Yeah. And like, you know, like he already has, I'm not going to act like I had no parts in the actual start of it or nothing like that, but he already had it going. But like, yeah, he tapped in with me early, and like, you know, we just would put him on music or play him certain music, or
which honestly people don't realize how important that, like, even
I don't think I realized it.
Yeah, to be honest, like even my first like big interview was Baby Stone Gorillas, who I didn't know at all. I asked my boy on the block, like, yo, bro, who do I like? I need to get somebody like, he's like, bro, you gotta tap in with Baby Stone Gorillas. I wouldn't have never known. You know what I'm saying? Now they're fucking the first song on the YG album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes it's important to have people in the weeds of it, thick of it.
No, that's a fact. And like, I feel like he understood that very early on. I didn't understand at all what was going on. I just was out here doing my thing. I had actually, the first No Jumper I ever did, it had nothing to do with music. I mean, actually at all. There was a thing he used to do called, what was it called? Like streetwear review.
Okay.
Where they would people would have clothing brands and they would send in their merch and shit, and we would open it up and review it.
Right.
And it was me, him, and this girl named Erin Jean. She had this website called Shop Jean. It was like really big back in the day. And then now she's like, you know, Curran Frost is?
Of course.
It's like Curran Frost baby mama now or something, shit like that. But that was the first episode of No Jumper I ever did. It was nothing to do with music at all. And then, you know, like I think I was on that first Famous Dex interview too. I was on the Riff Raff interview. Like he just started like asking me to come back every like, let's do this, let's do that. I really think it's because they was loving me in the comments, and like they're like, oh, this guy's hilarious. And they just start, you know, he just started asking me to come back. Yeah. But yeah, it was just crazy because at that time I was doing music and I was doing that at the same time, and that definitely gave me like a little step stool, a little boost. You feel me?
I'm actually glad you said that, because that was my segue into like, I know you're putting out the music, like even I think your biggest song was like the Tokyo Goon record. Yeah. And you're doing the music, and then now I'm super tapped in with the internet too. Like I was super early with what you guys got going on over there. You went on that tour, right?
Yeah.
Lil Pump, Smoke Perp.
Yeah, that was crazy ass tour, man.
Break down what happened over there.
I didn't even make it to the end of the tour. I know, that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, at that point, I was already cool with Smoke Perp just from, again, just being around and to being around the same people or whatever. So I think they like joint asked me to come on that tour. Like we all went, and honestly, bro, that was a very Xanax induced, just crazy ass time, bro.
Right.
Like there was like a fight pretty much every night.
Right.
There was just crazy shit going on. Now I'm not gonna lie, Lil Pump has some shit to say about Adam doing some shit on the tour.
I seen that.
Hey, listen, man.
I'm gonna tell you some shit. So I was on tour with him. Y'all remember that? The No Jumper tour. I was 16. And I was backing girls the same age as me. And you know what he was doing? Girls that was the same age as me. How do you do that? What is that called?
I didn't see none of that personally, but one thing that niggas gotta understand about me, I'm a very much like a lone wolf. Like I'm a do my own thing type nigga. So I remember for at least like the first 2 or 3 shows, like I always been a nigga that's been tapped in. So like I had a bitch already in every city that I already knew. You feel me?
Yeah.
So as soon as after the show, I'm linking up with my like girl that I already know, and I'm going.
Hell yeah.
So listen, man, I don't know if Pump was making none of that up or not, but I wasn't there to see no type of freaky activities going on. This is how I should have knew that this was gonna be crazy, because we were about to get on the tour bus before we even left. We all met up at the store on Melrose. and a nigga tried to sneak on the tour bus with us. And then everybody's looking around like, is this y'all homie? And we're like, no, wait, is that your, oh, we thought he was with you. We thought he was with you. And it was just a random nigga just tried to just finesse his way onto the tour bus. Mind you, this is not a tour bus. This is like a U-Haul fucking Ford van. Yeah. And it's like, nigga, how you think you about to finesse your way onto a whole tour bus, bro? And then, yeah, somebody else brought like 100 Zans.
Yeah.
Mind you, this is only like a 6-stop tour. So 100 Zans, 6 stops.
The rest is history.
History, it's a mystery in the history.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's a mystery in that history. But yeah, so basically, long story short, we did like the first 3 shows. I got super fucked up in Oakland. I ended up staying back with this girl that I know. And then, so we had like a gap in between the next show. The next show was like Arizona or something like that, right? So then I go back home and I'm like, yo, what time we leaving to go on the bus or whatever? Niggas hit me with some like, yo, like, you know, some of the other artists was like having a problem. They said they don't want you back on the tour. And I was like, what? And like, he was like, yeah, you got to ask them basically if you could come back. So I'm texting Perp like, yo, what's the deal? Like, why can't I come back or some shit? And it was like some bullshit, bro. It was like, they were like, oh, like they said like you like stole their clothes or some shit. Mind you, nigga, I was hitting the clothing stores of every city we went to. Like, I'm like, oh, there's this resale store here. Right. I'm like getting free shit just for an Instagram post or whatever. Right. I was selling these niggas clothes. So how the fuck am I stealing clothes from y'all? It was crazy, right? Yeah. So I don't know what it really was. Yeah. I feel like there was some other underlying issue. Sure. But niggas didn't want to say what it was. They just made up some bullshit. But the nigga Adam hit me with some, though, you got to ask them. Perp never answered back until they left. Right. Once they left, he hit me back and was like, oh, it was Pump, not me. Niggas was just passing it down the line, right? Yeah. So I was like, whatever. And then, yeah, I ended up not even finishing the last like 2 or 3 shows because I got kicked off the tour. Right. And I ain't gonna lie, low-key, I was kind of salty, but like, you know, it just is what it is. It's like, you could be that nigga that's gonna burn the bridge. Like, cause think about it, I could have crashed out, fuck you. Yeah. Whatever, started posting shit. Burnt that bridge back then. Yeah. Y'all wouldn't even probably even know me today if I would have burnt that bridge back then. You feel me? Right. Sometimes you gotta know when to fight the battle or win the war. You feel me?
Oh, God in heaven, man. You're not lying at all.
For real, so, cause I was mad, bro. I was for sure mad, but it was like, I had to think about it from a business perspective. So, you think this white nigga is about to care about, oh, this is my friend, this is the homie, versus the 2 main performers saying that they don't want this nigga on the tour no more. Yeah. You gotta go with this business, bro. Right. So like, I always feel like I've been kind of mature that way because most niggas would have been like, oh, fuck Adam, fuck you. Yeah. Like, and I was mad, but I was just like, there's no need for me to take it there. You feel me? Right. To be that mad, you know?
Man, much respect.
He showed me what kind of nigga he was right then, though. I ain't gonna lie.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie.
Come on.
Definitely
so,
did.
I mean, like, okay, so that happens. In between that and like when you first started going like on camera and like doing your thing on camera,
I just had this 1 foot in, 1 foot out because I was just like, I didn't want to just be known as like Adam22 sidekick. You feel me? And like, so I was really going hard with the music at the time, and shit was actually going really good up until like 2019, bro. I got fucking booked for my first Rolling Loud. Right. You know, like not off the help of him. Right. You know, just off me. Rolling Loud. I got booked for Day and Night out in Vegas. Come on. Shit was finally rolling for me, bro. Right. And then like my next project was geared to come out right after all of that. And right as my shit started going up, COVID hit, bro. And I was like, God damn, bro. So it was like, there was no more music. There was no more music to even like, you know, like there was no more music industry to keep it going. You feel me? Yeah. And, you know, like I said, I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out with the whole podcast shit. And I just stayed like, that shit was so much of a blessing, bro, because I don't know what I would have been doing for money or whatever if it wasn't for that. You feel me? So it was really a blessing, gang. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. And me and Cam Girl had already started like our own little show type thing where we was like, just me and her was just sitting down talking about random shit every week. And we was doing that. And then Adam kind of colonized it. Yeah. Adam was like, shit, we might as well make this into our show instead of y'all show. Yeah. And then he started coming on it. And then that turned into what's now the No Jumper show, like the main podcast on No Jumper. And yeah, it it started with just me and Cam Girl.
Yeah. So what gave you, like, why do you think that people were like interested in hearing what you had to say?
I don't know, bro. You know, I really don't know. I don't know why you niggas like be fucking with me, but I genuinely think that to me, my life ain't that crazy because it's my life. So I'm living it from the fucking inside out. From, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it from the inside out. So to me, I feel like the shit I feel like the shit I be saying be mad regular, but I don't know. I feel like other people be like, wait, what? Like, you seen what? Or this happened? Or what the fuck? I don't know. I feel like I just have like a lot of insight and I've just seen a lot of shit and I feel like they just gravitate towards it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I genuinely think that I feel like people can just read when you're being genuine or not, or when you're trying to force a character, you're trying to force being too hard, you're trying to force being Mr. Bitches, you try to force this, you try to force that. And I genuinely just think that I've just been as honest as I possibly could be, maybe almost to a fault.
Right.
I've just been too honest with this shit. And dude, I've been doing this for almost fucking a decade now, which is crazy to even say.
Right.
But I've been doing this for so long, it was like, if I was just sitting up here lying every week or just sitting here just making it, mind you, these niggas have been watching me do the shit weekly.
Right.
For years. So it's like, they would have just felt the disingenuousness.
Right.
I don't know if that was the right word. I just made that up. But they would have just seen the bullshit from a mile away if they wasn't fucking with me. So I think just being honest and being yourself and just, you know, just having a different perspective. Don't try to just fit into whatever's the popular perspective, or don't just try to like go on there trying to mimic somebody else. I see so many people do that nowadays. It's like, oh, I want to be mini Fresh and Fit, or I want to be mini this, or I want to be mini that. And it's just like, you got to just be yourself, gang.
Right.
And that was one thing I was never afraid, no matter who I'm on camera with, who I'm, you know, having these debates or talks with, is like, my perspective is my perspective. Now, it's liable to change, you know, like we're humans, your perspective changes, but like some people, they get on camera and their whole perspective changes once they're next to somebody else.
yeah, for sure.
So it's like, I feel like as long as you don't do that, bro, like people will fuck with you and they'll genuinely, they'll see the progression, you know?
Come on.
I think that's one thing with me too, why people fuck with me, is because they could just, like, it's all on camera. It's all documented, like from where I started to where I am now. You feel me?
Right. Well,
I think that's a big part.
Bet. So as we wrap up this little segment, what were some of the, like, what was a highlight? Like, you know, obviously there's all these different like characters walking into No Jumper all the time, and you're seeing different vibes and shit. Well, like looking back at it, what were some, like, give me a highlight moment, or like, oh damn, like this just happened.
I'm not gonna lie, man. The funnest era of that whole thing was just like when people just refer to it as like the golden era, when it was just like AD and T-Rail and fucking Duno and Sharp, and bro, like, cause it was just so much funny random shit happening on a daily basis, bro. And like, even when they brought Flacco around, just like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Flacco too, bro. Like, Flacco has really made something of himself and really turned his shit up, bro.
For sure.
Shout out to Flacco, bro. But even like, bro, I remember we were doing the show was our show was called Disconnected back then. We were doing Disconnected, and Sharp called me one day, and a lot of people don't know this, but like me and Sharp was really like, that was my boy. You feel me? Like, people knew me and AD was close. You know what? People knew me and Blasey and them was close, whatever. But me and Sharp is really my boy, bro. Shout out to Sharp. And like, me and him was hella close at the time. So we was doing Disconnected. Sharp calls me. He's like, yo, are y'all still on live? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, don't end the live. I got a special guest for you. I'm gonna bring them in. He didn't say who it was. He didn't say nothing. I'm like, okay. Nigga, he fucking brings DJ Quick in. I'm gonna say DJ Clue. He brought DJ Quick in, bro. And we just randomly had DJ Quick on the fucking episode. Fire. Which was fucking legendary on some West Coast LA shit, bro. So it's just like, you just never knew what you were gonna get into. Like, you know?
Man, I definitely would tune into your guys' show. Like, that shit was funny as shit. I love good banter. You know what I'm saying? Good discussion.
Yeah, for sure.
What was his name? That one Yeet song.
I was just about to say that.
Hey, where the problem at? I'm spitting on these perks like I'm a laundromat.
That was another Twisty P, bro.
Shout out Twisty P, man.
Listen, that was another crazy ass moment, bro. We sitting there. Now, mind you, you know what Hellstar is? The brand Hellstar?
Of course.
Bro, we had my nigga Shawnee from Hellstar on there.
Right, that's right.
That was probably one of his first times ever on camera, ever. We interviewing him. He giving some like motivational ass talk. Like, you know, he's like, yeah, you know, like I was working at Starbucks last year. And we having this combo with him and fucking Twisty P just comes bolting in, literally bloody from head to toe, literally toes ripped like an amphibian frog. Bro, that was the crazy. That might have been the craziest episode, for sure. Because it was just so much going on, bro.
Yeah. That was a classic one.
Then bro tried to blame me like we set him up or something.
Right.
And I'm like, nigga, he went on live the night before. Like, I'm gonna be at No Jumper tomorrow. I'll pull up if anybody wants smoke. I'm like, nigga, everybody had the address at that time.
Right.
Oh man, so many crazy. I will say that's one thing I'm so glad that I'm far away from is like just the drama.
Right.
Obviously, we got our own little drama, but it's nothing like, you know, having 100 cholos pulling up to the office trying
to figure some shit out.
Yeah, or like Twisty P getting packed out and jumped in the front of the shit. Like that's not it's not the same type of drama. You feel me?
Exactly. Well, so it kind of leads me into this, like, when, you know, this thing, I feel like there's people coming in and out all the time. Now it's like become a joke almost. You know, we know what's going on over there currently. I mean, people are getting indicted and stuff. So,
hell yeah.
But when did you start first, like, sensing, like, did you foresee it coming to an end at some point?
I mean, bro, like, I would have been a dummy if I didn't, like, possibly foresee something like that. Because I had just been there so long and I've seen so many people come in and out. And, like, if I'm just being completely honest, I've seen him do other people way dirtier.
Right.
You feel me? And people that he's known for way longer of a time, you feel me? And it's like, at a certain point, you know, I was too comfortable there. I will say that. I was too comfortable, you know, like, I wasn't becoming a millionaire, like, off that shit, but it was paying good enough for me to pay my bills. It was giving me exposure. I was making money that way. I started my brand, which was like, at that point, once I started the brand, I didn't give a fuck about any of that shit because my shit was going up.
Right.
So it was like, at least I had something tangible that was owned by me to where it was like, if this does fall apart, I at least got that.
Yeah.
And I could always go start my own shit or whatever, which I feel like I waited a little too long to do, but like, you know, it is what it is. It's like better late than never, you know?
Right.
But like, shit, I remember I told Hakeem this after Hakeem left, because Hakeem was so hurt. I remember he was just like, how could he? He's like, bro, I done caught fades for that nigga. I did this and that for him. Like, how could he, like, you know, like how could he do me like that, basically? And I remember telling him, I was like, bro, like, you have to, when it comes to business, friendships, relationships, whatever the case may be, you have to be able to assess the type of people that you're working with and that you're dealing with. And you have to be able to assess like their characteristics and just not be surprised by certain shit.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And it's like, I don't even think Adam is just some terrible ass nigga. I literally just think he's just tunnel vision about himself and what he got going on.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest, those are the people that make it the furthest in life. So it's like, maybe us like empathetic ass people that fucking care about everybody thinks and cares.
Right.
Those are the motherfuckers that ain't gonna make it nowhere. So, you know, at the end of the day, it was kind of like, I don't know. It was like, at the end of the day, it was to be expected a little bit. You feel me?
Right. So I mean, we kind of know the gist of like why it happened, but really everything came to a pop because what happened. I feel like, truth be told, like I remember watching the episode where you called in and you were explaining like, bro, like why would you do that? Yada. But it's like when you came back on to try to like, we're trying to explain it, and then the whole scene happens. The cameras, you know, you shoot the water, the camera cuts off. I think people really want to know what happens when the camera cuts off.
And then let's move forward to that bullshit ass apology you gave when you're on the fucking news. You're talking about, yeah, he's been going through the mom shit. He's been going through the health shit.
The mom shit, and like he's living on his own for the first time, and he's got health shit.
You talking about the person that fucking raised me, that birthed me, my best friend that died? Oh, just he's been going through the mom shit.
But are you actually acting like I have some kind of disrespect for your mom when
You're
I fucking
disrespectful as fuck.
I paid for the fucking
First of all-
funeral as soon
first
as
of
it
all-
happened just because.
So when the camera cut off, so he had this big ass fucking security guard named Tone. So Tone big ass wrapped me up or whatever. This nigga like 6'8", 300 pounds. Mind you, oh man, I hate the throwing the smoothie thing because at the time my leg was fucked up and I couldn't really walk like that. I don't know if y'all remember, if anybody that's watching this that used to pay attention back then, but like my legs was fucked up for a long time. I still don't know why. I have an idea why. I think it was the nods. I was like overdoing the nods at the time.
Okay.
And that shit literally like, it paralyzes people.
Wow.
So I really think at the end, like I was having other health issues at the time too. So like, whatever, like he basically said some shit that was a lie. He said he paid for my mom's funeral, which was hella not true. He did give me some money after my mom passed away. Literally $0 of those dollars went to my mom's funeral. Yeah. I had to move into a new apartment and like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had got evicted, you feel me? I had shit I had to do.
Right.
None of that money went to my mom's funeral. My mom's old boss that loved her dearly paid for my mom's funeral in full. They paid for the food, the flowers, the spot, everything, you feel me? Shout out to my sister for organizing it. But I think that's what really pushed me to the edge. And nigga said, he's like, what do you mean I don't care about you? I paid for your mom's funeral, which was like, even if you thought that you did, even you saying that is even crazy, you feel me? But the fact that that wasn't true is what made it even crazier.
Right.
And yeah, so like I hopped up, but like obviously I hopped up slow as fuck. Like now I would have hopped up fast and jumped over the table and beat that nigga ass, you feel me? But I couldn't do nothing then. I was, so whatever. I hopped up, Tone wrapped me up, all the cameras shut off or whatever. I'm like, fuck you, bitch ass nigga, whatever, blah, blah. I'm going outside, right? I'm going outside and he's like trying to follow me outside to talk. And I'm like, bro, if you walk up on me, I'm literally about to fire on you. So he's standing back there. He's trying to talk. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Fuck you, AD. This is AD's fault. It's AD's fault. AD tried to like big bro it and be like, yo, bro, just hear him out. Just let him say what he got to say. And like, AD was really like, I was just playing. Like, I really appreciate AD because AD was just like, don't just leave it like that. Don't just leave it, just unsaid. Like, say what you got to say. Finish saying what you got to say to him. Let him say what he got to say or whatever. Just like finish it off. Don't just leave it undone like that. And yeah, then that's when I don't know if it's all on video when we came back. We went back and sat there and tried to finish talking it out. But like, at the end of the day, I feel like the damage had just been done already. It was like, and honestly, bro, on some real shit, I didn't even realize this because at the time I had so much shit going on. I didn't even realize like, bro, that shit happened like that shit was like a couple months after my mom passed away. I was having my own health issues. It was just so much shit going on at that same time that like, I didn't even realize that all that shit happened within like a couple fucking months from each other. You feel me? But honestly, bro, everything happens for a reason. And I feel like if none of that shit didn't play out the way that it did, I wouldn't have had that push to go start my own shit. Or like, I've had this like pressure to like basically live off of my clothing brand now, which like at first I wasn't. Like, yeah, we were making tons of money off of it, but I wasn't living off that money. I was just like
putting it right back in.
Hell yeah, you feel me? It's like now it's like I'm on a consistent schedule where I gotta drop. I gotta do this and I gotta make it happen because it's like I don't have this like cushion. It was really a cushion for me because it was like people was throwing me money for random shit just to wear my shirt on the podcast or like whatever. It's like, nigga, they have 4 million subscribers, so all different types of little opportunities would be coming your way or whatever. Like I said, it was a cushion, bro.
Yeah,
so like it was like a fire under my ass to like go get this shit on your own, go try it on your own, go do this shit on your own. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, man, you never know, man. It was really a blessing in disguise. And now looking at all this shit that's going on now, it's like, shit, maybe you was meant to get out of there. You feel me?
Man.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, recently, I had my little dispute with bro because he went on his, he went on his little 10-minute fucking rant about how my X4 interview was so clownish and like it was like he was like, oh, he's just trying to copy me yada.
He did one that I just watched. Yeah, it's called I Told You So. This is one of the most awkward interviews I've seen in my life. Like, this guy is, no offense, bro, but this is one of the worst. And it uses a clip of us and everything. But yo, this is brutal.
He's a cool guy though. Actually,
I don't know who the fuck he is. I noticed. I went and looked on Instagram and I have DMs with him from like 2017, which I don't remember at all. But this is one of the most painful interview clips I've probably like ever watched.
Mind you, like back in the day, I used to be making music. And so Adam DM'd me in like 2016 saying like, yo, Trippie Redd's trying to get in contact with you. I didn't even know who Trippie Redd was in that time. So I was like, okay, boom. He brings up this whole, he makes the way it's interesting. I think I go back to this like narcissistic, maybe it does help you in some ways. You know what I mean? Like you're able to basically paint the picture. But he goes on this rant, does this whole thing. I could see how if I was there all the time and if someone's energy was there all the time, that could really affect a person. So
yeah, 1000%. Yeah. I mean, shit. I don't know if he's talked about this, but AD literally convinced me to stay because after Cam Girl left, I was just over that nigga, bro. I ain't gonna lie, like just certain little shit, just the way that he be acting. It's like nigga just think he right about everything.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's like two things could be mutually correct at the same time. It's like I appreciated him for the opportunity. I appreciated, the platform and shit like that for exposure to get my face and my name out there more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, it was really like he was becoming like fucking so miserable to deal with, bro. At a certain point.
Yeah.
And like I used to be really getting at that nigga. Like we would be getting. You could ask anybody that was in that group chat. Right. I used to be telling that nigga like I would literally beat your ass in the group chat, and like people would be like, he's like. Oh, You're talking to your boss like that? No, like people would be getting mad and I mean, not people would be getting mad. He would be getting mad that I'll be talking to him like that in front of everybody. But it's like, bro, he just knew how to get under your buttons, like underneath your skin.
Yeah.
How to push those buttons. And like, I'm telling you, bro, AD is really the main reason why I end up even staying as long as I did. Cause I was just over, bro. Like he just like the way he just acts sometimes. And and I can genuinely say that bro isn't like that all the time. I don't know if it's like he be stressed about some other shit and it just makes him act like that. I don't fucking know. But it had got to a point where like, I'm going to be honest. At a certain point, I'm like, dude, he got some type of animosity towards me because of like some other reasons like, like, I don't know, man. Like,
well, actually, now that you mention it,
I was trying not to say it, but I'm like,
now that you mention it though,
you feel
like, okay, so because people want to know, man, what stopped you from bringing up the fact that you had already been with his now wife?
I mean,
cause me in your shoes, bro. Like I would have crashed out. You know what I'm saying?
And I ain't gonna lie, like, bro, it's not like it hadn't crossed my mind before. Because I'm telling you, he's the type of nigga that will push you to take you out of character like that. It's like, first of all, bro, on some real shit, on some genuine shit, bro. I'm just not even a nigga like that. One,
yeah.
Two, he knew about it.
Right.
It wasn't like he didn't know.
Right.
And like, I didn't fuck her before he fucked her. He fucked her first. He was fucking with her first.
Yeah.
I just got in where I fit in, you feel me? So, and like, like, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go too deep, but I'm not the only one, you feel me? So, like, you feel me? Like, it wasn't like some secret or something like that. Now, I might have been a secret to the office or other people that didn't know, you feel me? But it was like, it was never some huge secret or nothing like that. And it was like, why drag her into this? She never did nothing to me. Me and her have always been cordial. Ever since I have been working with him for years and years after that shit, bro.
Sure.
Like, so it was never no like real reason to bring it up. But when he like, I'm telling you, bro, once he pushed my buttons I keep saying push my buttons, yeah. he pushed my buttons a couple times where I definitely wanted to just throw that at him, or at least throw it at him on camera. And I just thought I'm like, bro, like that just would be weak of me to do it. I just like was just like, nah, it's not even worth it because I don't even care, and it's not some big mic drop. Like, nigga, we already knew. Like, no offense to her, but it was like, bro, she wasn't the only one. Like,
right,
niggas was sharing a lot of the same girls, gang. It's just like, that's like if I would have wifed some girl that he hit before, like, you feel me? Which I probably would never, to be honest. But
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't some big deal, bro. Niggas was doing drugs and fucking a lot of the same girls, bro. It was really not a big deal back then.
Yeah.
But like, I'm telling you, the way that he used to act towards me, I really used to start to think like, bro, are you mad? Like, which would make no sense. Like, why would you be mad about this so long after?
Sure.
But I don't know. I couldn't put a finger on like why he used to be acting such a way towards me, especially because I feel like, you know, all these allegations that came out about him again is like, bro, that's not the first time that shit came out, bro.
Right.
Like the first time that it did come out, like, bro, I was probably one of the only people that like
advocated for him for sure.
And I won't even say advocated because like I didn't know the facts. I didn't know the details. I didn't want to go off face value and just burn a bridge off something I didn't really know the facts to. You feel me?
Yeah.
But it was like me even just sticking by you and continuing to be on your platform and on your shit. That's me sticking my neck out for you. You feel me? So again, I thought there was like some sense of, I don't know, I guess loyalty or something, but it was like, bro, just the way that he used to act, it just used to be pissing me off, bro. Like, especially like now that I'm sober and like clear-minded, I understand how somebody being flaky, somebody being no call, no show and shit like that, not being reliable. I understand how frustrating that is because now as a business owner on my own, like I could see how one person could fuck up the whole rotation and shit. You feel me? So I understood his level of being angry at me, but what I didn't understand was like how judgmental he used to be. Because I'm like, gang, you were older than I am right now.
Right.
Doing the same shit that I was doing. But sure, you had it together a little bit more, but like, nigga, like you were doing drugs too.
Yeah.
I was doing drugs with you. You were paying for the drugs.
Right.
So that shit used to bother me because it was just like, gang, why are you acting like I'm doing some like out of pocket shit when you was doing the same shit with me?
Right.
And it's just like, you know, I had to come to terms with all of that shit on my own. And I had to get myself together on my own, and like nobody was gonna be able to whip me into shape. I had to learn that shit on my own. You feel me?
Come on.
Feel me? So
yeah. Well, I want to wrap up this segment because I think we talked about it enough. But is there a reality where there's some sort of reconciliation? Like, have you guys talked in any type of recent time? And could you see a future where things are like okay at least?
Me and Toke, my other co-host on our show, Reconnected, every Thursday, 6 p.m.
Come on.
Motherfucking biggest bro ENT on YouTube.
Stop playing.
Feel me? But me and Toke, when like the whole Rico shit first came about, me and Toke were on live and we were just trolling, calling random people, and he was like, call Adam. And I was like, yeah, right, I'm not calling that nigga. And then we're like, fuck it, we're gonna call him. We just called him as a joke. And he immediately started being like, oh yeah, we need you back. And like, to be honest, gang, I don't hate that nigga, bro. Look, again, as I gotten older, as I gotten more sober-minded, I knew what all this shit was from the beginning, bro. I knew what I signed up for. It's like, this shit's all content. This ain't no real friendship. This ain't no real loyalty. I got your back ass shit. And it's like, yeah, maybe in certain aspects, maybe it was. You feel me? Because I'm not going to act like he never did nothing for me or like he never helped me out. He for sure did, bro. But it was just like, I knew what it was from the beginning. And that's what I was saying earlier. You have to be aware of these dynamics as you go into them. And it's like, to think that nigga would spare me over getting the content, Come on, man. I already know what it was. So I think I'm not angry about it no more. Niggas gonna make the fucking transmission jokes all day long, gang. It's just something I gotta deal with, bro.
Right.
And like, at the end of the day, I don't even really give a fuck no more. Like, it's just, people are either gonna move past it or they gonna keep making the jokes, whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like, I just feel like it doesn't align with me just as a person anymore. I feel like there's just too much drama. There's too much weird shit going on. And I just feel like people would look at me like I was crazy if I went back. You feel me?
Yeah, I'd see that.
I feel like I could lose the people that support me by going back. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I just feel like it was a chapter in my life that's now closed. You know, I'm grateful for the audience that came with me from there, from the people that, you know, are still paying attention, for the customers that purchase shit from my brand, don'tcrapout.com, highroller777 on Instagram. You feel me? Like I'm appreciative of all that shit, bro. And I learned a lot by being there, but I don't think it would be conducive for me to go back, to be honest.
I get that. I feel that.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't hate that nigga though, bro. I genuinely don't think about that nigga. They might pop up on YouTube or some shit on my recommended. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I just go up. Like, I have so much shit that I have to do on a daily basis, bro. Trying to run this business, still do the music shit, do art, figure out our own shit with this podcast shit. Yeah. I will say I missed that part. Yeah. I miss just pulling up and just being the fucking, being a nigga sitting here and talking, nigga. Oh my God, I miss that. That's the only thing that I do miss, bro.
Yeah.
And having a team of editors and niggas like that. God damn, I fucking missed that part. But other than that, bro, I feel like I learned my lesson and like, you know, shit, man, it's time to move forward in life. Come on. I feel like it was been time to move forward though, but you know, shit happens the way it happens, man. It happens for a reason.
Exactly. So we'll close that segment. I want to get into the clothing, man. The clothing. Yes, the last piece of what you were talking about earlier, right? So we talked about the music, the podcast, which I want to talk about the biggest bro stuff too. Well, actually, let me get into that a little bit. How's the podcast going? How do you feel about that?
Man, bro, I feel like we've been ironing out some kinks for the last year or two.
Yeah.
But bro, it's finally like, it's getting to a point where it's just flowing so much more naturally.
Right.
And, you know, like I said, nothing in this life is drama free, bro. It's always going to be some type of little drama or mishaps. And like, I don't know if you saw, but like we had a little disagreement with one of our old co-hosts.
Yeah.
He left and went back home and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, not went back home, but moved away.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was a bummer, especially because, you know, like I fucked with bro and all of that. And like, I didn't want that to be the end with just us getting into some weird argument or whatever.
Sure.
But I also feel like, bro, we all grown ass men, bro. Sometimes you get into it with the homie. Sometimes I get into it, but like, I don't know. I don't think it was that big of a deal for bro to just be like, basically like fuck us for life. You feel me?
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. But honestly, even when I was still at No Jumper, it had got to a point to where like it felt like it was pulling teeth sometimes.
Right.
And it felt like, you know, I seen a lot of people used to complain in the comments like, oh, like, motherfucker can't even get up and come do a fucking 2-hour podcast every week. And it's like, when you got a lot of real life shit going on, and then you got to come to a place where you're not really vibing with the people like that, and you like, you know, like it can feel very like stressful or very like it's like putting a strain on you. You feel me?
Sure.
And like now, I look forward to going.
That's
like,
a blessing.
I look forward to going and doing our podcast, and it's like it feels like a therapy session. It's like it's me and 3 people that if we wasn't sitting here doing this podcast, we would be doing what we're doing already.
Yeah.
And like, bro, like I just appreciate everybody so much, bro. Like my nigga Blasey really put the team on his back, bro. Like he really helped fucking kickstart all of this shit. Even Yuri, bro. I'm not even gonna hate on Yuri. Yuri helped in the beginning with a lot of shit. Toke basically helped set the whole fucking setup up by himself.
Yeah.
And even our newest addition, Ryder, bro. Ryder is the fucking MVP, bro. Ryder's been someone that we've known for a long time that always kind of meshed with us. But he's been stepping up with new ideas and new segments, and the fucking people love him. And honestly, bro, it's just a blessing. Like, and we may not be, you know, we're not like killing it with the views right now per se, but I genuinely see how much love and how much like genuinely, like how much love and how much the people is fucking with us. I could see it getting back to that point where we getting those hundreds of thousands of views per episode and shit, bro. Just because it's like, it's just flowing so much better, bro.
It's a blessing.
It's not some weird animosity every week or feel like we got to walk on eggshells or something. Yeah. And like, it's not based off drama, bro. That's the fucking best part. It's not based off drama. It's not fucking us having to argue with each other every week, us having to call each other out on bullshit every week, bro. It's like, it's genuinely 4 bros having a good time, bro. And I feel like that's what people relate to so much when they watch our shit specifically. It's not fucking talk show, gossipy, fucking. Obviously, we talk about some current events and shit like that, but it's just not like it's not the same shit, bro.
Yeah.
And that was one thing about even being at No Jumper that I didn't like. Is like, bro, how many times are we gonna talk about fucking Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion? Like, nigga, did he shoot her or did he not shoot her? I don't give a fuck. You feel me? Yeah. So it was like, to be able to cultivate something just that we genuinely have fun doing this shit, bro. And I think that's like the most, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, that shit is not, it's not super financially like well off right now or nothing like that. But it's like, I genuinely feel happy doing that shit every week, bro.
It's a blessing.
It feels good to just go shoot the shit with the homies, have the people watch and have the people enjoy, bro. And this be people every fucking week that are like, bro, please don't stop doing this shit. We fucking love y'all. So yeah, man, make sure y'all tap in, man.
Yeah, man.
Reconnected every Thursday, 6 p.m. live. Biggest Bros YouTube page, man.
Come on, y'all definitely gotta go tap in. Whenever I get a chance and I see y'all go live, I click that thing. I'm like, yo, Blazzy's funny as hell. You funny as hell, man. Everybody man. Laughing, shooting. So it's like I'm in the room too. Like I'm like listening. Like, all right,
that's
cool.
what they
like,
be saying in the comments, bro.
Yeah.
And honestly, I appreciate that so much more. And I understand the drama and all that shit hikes the views up and it gets more engagement and shit like that. But man, if that's the way to do it, bro, then I don't want that shit.
Right. Right.
I genuinely would rather people watch us because they want to watch us. You feel me? Not because this person got into it with this person this week. I just seen some drama ass, like, shout out to my boy Almighty, but Almighty and some girl was getting into it. Yeah. And I think it was like their second or third time getting into it.
Jeez.
And I'm like, at this point, y'all got to be like manufacturing these beefs at some point.
Right.
Maybe y'all get into it that first time and that one goes viral. Yeah. And then you got somebody behind the scenes like, hey,
we gotta.
It's like, look, guys, we're gonna have you guys back on the camera again next week. You know, if you have any grievances you want to air out with her again.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, man, that shit just, all that shit begins. You know how I know that some of that shit's manufactured? Because I remember a couple times, like, not to make the whole interview about No Jumper.
Yeah.
I remember me and T-Rel did like one of those panels with like the OnlyFans bitches or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's like, of course.
Yeah, and it was me and T-Rel. And I remember somebody behind the scenes was like, because like, I'm just not a nigga. I'm not about to get on camera and be yelling at the bitches, bro. Like, whatever. Like, if we get into a disagreement or something, like, that's just natural, whatever. But like, I'm not about to get up there going up on the bitch. Like, that's just not me. You feel me?
Yeah.
Especially not on camera. You feel me?
Right.
Like, I don't know this. Bitches watching this shit. I don't want a bitch watching this shit.
Exactly.
Wow, you're on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. So I remember specifically one time that like them being like, "Yo, you can't be hella nice. like you gotta like give a little pushback." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah, and I did, but it's like, it's like they had to literally coach me through some drama one time. So it's like, y'all can't tell me y'all not manufacturing this shit because I was in the office, gang. I know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I get it. I mean, I can see how somebody gets, like, even when some of my shit blows up, I'm like, I can see how someone can get addicted to wanting to push out this type of stuff. But at the end of the day, man, let that be for the birds, man. We can keep pushing. That's like our one of our biggest moments in the last couple of years was me and Yuri getting into it, right? Right. Now that's like, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of embarrassed by that because like that was a genuine moment that just like it just built up to us being fed up with each other, and then it just came out on camera, right? Now that was a genuine moment. Blasie's calling me. That was a genuine moment, but then like, it fucking came out on camera and now it's like stamped in history on fucking the internet forever. It's one of our biggest clips of the last year. And it's like, if I was really trying to chase that, nigga, I would be going in on this nigga every week. Right. On camera. Fuck him. But it's like, that's not what I want to do, gang. That's not what I'm here to do. That's not what I'm after. Nigga, I'm trying to inspire.
I'm trying to give some game. I'm trying to talk about drip and bitches and having fun or whatever the fuck we talk about, bro. Yeah. We don't even go in with topics, bro. We sit down every week and freestyle that shit.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
And it's like, if I was really trying to do some shit like that, I would just be fucking trying to go in on Yuri every week.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just like, nah, bro.
Yeah. Well, I want to segment. I really want to talk about the clothing stuff. So,
yeah, man.
High Rollers. I actually have a pair from your first drop. I think it was the all white joints.
Hell yeah.
That shit was.
How they still lasting? How they lasting?
I ain't gonna lie, like
they cook.
They cook, but yo, it's hard, bro. It's hard.
I appreciate it.
So I want to ask. Okay. I started this company as a clothing brand, and a lot of people probably watching have their own clothing brand or want to or whatever.
Yeah.
What does it take to start a clothing brand?
Man, so with me, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Again, one thing when it comes to me, when it comes to giving advice, is I definitely say take everything that I say specifically with a grain of salt, because the way that shit worked out for me is so unique and so different the way that it worked out for anybody else.
Right.
Because I've always been into clothes. I've always, been very in love with the brands that I'm in love with and all that shit. I never thought about making a brand. Well, I thought about making a brand. I played around with it in high school or something, never took it seriously. But I never thought about making my own shoe. And the way that this happened for me was very specific. Now, my business partner, he owns a blank company called Made Blanks. So if you were,
huge, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So if you want to go get your hoodies or your sweats and whatever the case may be, you get the blanks made from him. So that's been one of my good friends for a long time. We've always had very similar clothing interests. We used to sell each other, trade each other clothes and shit all the time. We always was into the same type of shit. But we had never really worked on anything together. And then one day he just gave me a call and he was like, yo, this guy just came into my office or whatever, and he said, if we ever wanted to make a shoe, he said, if I ever wanted to make a shoe, he had the manufacturer for this person and that person, whatever. So basically by the end of that call, we came up with the name, colorways, style, design, all of that, on that one phone call.
Wow.
So this was not something that I planned on doing at all, bro.
Right.
It's one of those things where they say, knowledge and preparation.
Yeah, success is when opportunity and preparation meet. Yeah,
and I cannot stress how true that is, because I spent my entire life on these hype beasts, complex, fucking just nerding out over all this shit that I low-key thought was a waste of time.
Right.
I would sit on the computer looking at this shit for hours and hours, studying shit. I would get the shoes and I learned so much about color by just buying different shoes and reading the different names of the different colors.
Right.
I've learned so much shit by just being a nerd and just nerding out over this shit, to the point that when a nigga called me randomly and asked me, did I want to make a shoe? I knew everything about it already.
Yeah.
And mind you, this is somebody he's not in the shoe industry, but he's in the clothing industry already, right? So when I was like, yo, we gotta make them the regular leather and patent leather. And he was like, what's patent leather? And I was like, nigga, what you mean what's patent leather? You got babes. You know what patent leather is.
Exactly.
But again, that's just me being so nerded out and so just locked in on this shit. I knew everything that there was to know about what I would want my shoe to look like, or what I would want, how I wanted to feel, the colors and all of that shit like that. It was preparation meets opportunity. I fucked up a lot of opportunities in my life. I could genuinely sit here and say that. I fucked off a lot of opportunities, bro. That's one thing that holds so dear to me, because that was one that I was ready for. And no matter how fucked up I was in life, whatever was going on, I made sure that I had that shit down pat.
Yeah.
And that's just because it's in me.
Yeah.
I just know too much about that shit for me to fuck it up. You feel me?
See, that's the first thing. I feel like you got to nerd out over the things that you're trying to do. I nerd out about, I'm exactly like that with everything that I do. I'm a complete nerd. I'm I scroll. I'm like, I'm digesting things like constantly and looking at seeing the trends. And, you know, I literally, on my Sunday, you'll usually catch me on Sunday still on Melrose, still going to fucking Wasteland or 2nd Street or pop up at the Flea, touch clothes and feel it and see what's going on, see what people are wearing.
You got to, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing too is like, bro, you got to just pay attention to what's going on around you. Like, bro, I've been making like a different model, not this one, but like a different, like a runner.
Yeah.
Like a trainer runner type shit.
Yeah.
Nigga,
you going designer on us.
Nigga, that's been like, I've been sampling that bitch for like 2 years already.
Right.
And it's like niggas are just now getting on that New Balance
wave, yeah.
Fucking Asics type wave. So it's like, bro, it's all about paying attention, bro. You got to pay attention. And like, you don't necessarily want to be paying attention to be like following the trends.
Sure.
But you have to be aware what's hot and what people want.
Yeah.
And like, you have to be able to like pinpoint the trends and what could possibly come back and what could possibly be a thing. Like, bro, I had no idea that tree camo was gonna have this crazy like resurgence of the last couple years. I just always loved tree camo, bro. Always loved tree camo.
Yeah.
I'm like literally, this is a high roller sweater that I'm wearing, but this is the Made Blank.
Okay.
I was telling you about.
Yeah.
I have been trying to tell this nigga for 2-3 years, you need to make tree camo.
Yeah.
You need to make tree camo blanks. You need to make tree camo blanks. Now tree camo is like the fucking one of the hottest fucking patterns you can find.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's like, yeah, bro, it's just keeping your eye and keeping your finger on the pulse, bro.
Yeah. I think
really
shout out Desto Dub. Like he was super early on tapped in with me and we've had a lot of conversations and he gave me this game of like, cause I was telling him like, man, like I don't want to try to copy like the Hell Stars of the world and try to do some new shit. He's like, bro, but you got to understand if like with me, when he was telling me like, oh, when I started my shit, like if everybody's wearing a yellow t-shirt, you got to get hip and understand, all right, I'm going to make a yellow t-shirt too, but my shit going to be the hardest. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not always about like reinventing the wheel. You got to make that car go faster.
Bro, it's the Virgil fucking, what is it, the 30% rule?
Yeah, I think he said like 5%, something crazy like
3%,
that. 3%, so damn near,
like that. Yeah,
you put a little orange tag on some shoes and you're already lit.
I mean, bro, like people see me wear these all the time and they're like, oh, those Vans. And I'm like, nah, they're not. And like, you feel me? It's like, to the naked eye, nigga might be like, oh, I'm not paying $200 for some Vans, but it's like, nigga, these not Vans. Nigga, these is me. Yeah.
I mean, didn't Ian Connor do it? What was that?
Oh man, he did it first, man. He did. I'm not gonna lie, listen, niggas can say whatever they want about him, bro. That nigga is a fucking visionary.
Pioneer,
bro. That nigga's a visionary, bro. Yeah. He did that shit way before anybody else, bro.
Yeah.
He was basically the only. Who else did it like after like bro? Like
I mean, you could say like maybe you could say Bapesters.
No, I'm saying after that.
After him, yeah, it's tough.
Like Bapes came out in fucking the 90s and the early 2000s, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
So from Bape to Revenge Storm, who did we really have? We had like Greedy Genius. Okay, we had, I don't know, Yums.
Who are the dudes that like do the big red boot?
Nigga, this was all after that.
Yeah, no, for sure. But that even Mischief. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like from Bape.
Yeah.
From Bape to Revenge Storm, you cannot name me one independent shoe company that blew up like that.
100%.
I can't think of one.
Yeah.
Maybe later afterwards, I'm gonna feel like an idiot and be like, oh damn, I forgot about this person. I forgot about that person. That nigga was the first like streetwear independent shoe company that went that big, bro.
Yep.
And you gotta give bro his props for that, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
He took that shit to the moon. And to be honest, I low key feel like I feel like he may have had allegations before that, but I feel like if the allegations didn't come, that shit would have still been a big shoe.
For sure.
And
God knows what else he would have came out of his mind because he was super tapped in too.
Yeah, I mean he moved on to the sicko shit, but like
right, exactly.
Man, I'm telling you, that Revenge Storm shit was like that was the smartest shit he could have did. Now everybody, nigga, even okay, so it took me about a year from sampling to like full production and release. In that year, it went from nobody was making shoes to 20, 30 brands had their own Dunk or their own Jordan 1 on the way.
Yeah.
You feel me? And there's been so many that came and gone. And like right now I've been focusing solely on the clothes, but I gotta get back into the shoes, bro. Cause the shoe is my bread and butter, and the shoe is what the people know me for, and they're 100% eating up the most. So like I've taken a hiatus on the shoe to really like kind of really cultivate it and really like attack it from a different angle and really just make sure it makes sense, bro. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I was getting taxed. It's getting taxed on the
minimums and then having exactly.
The minimums wasn't that bad, but just the overall price per shoe I was paying.
Yeah.
Which is like, I was telling some of my other friends, like after, like, you know, when you're running it up, you know, it's like COVID time when I first dropped, bro.
Yeah.
I was selling out immediately.
Exactly.
Niggas was buying shit just because they in the crib bored.
Yeah.
Bro, I was selling out immediately every time. But once that kind of dies down and slows away, then it's like you start looking back at the numbers like, wait, how much are we paying? Bro, you know, I didn't even know how much we were paying per shoe at one point.
Damn.
Because we were fucking clearing so much money at a certain point. It's like, bro, the first drop I ever did, we made $120K. The first drop I ever did. And now, you know, there's clothing brands that are doing $1 million drop or whatever, like now. But it's like, for me to come out the gate and my first initial drop was that much.
Yeah.
Like the first day, we made $120K the first day.
Damn.
My first drop ever.
Damn.
So I think we completely sold out of the brown and pink pair first day.
Yeah.
Bro, it ate that shit up. So it was like, I was living in like this, like, almost I could do no wrong type of phase. You feel me?
Yeah.
And like once like things start to slow down for sure a lot more, and it was able to give me a different perspective, and it was able to make me like refocus and replace my energy. Cause I got to the point I'm just like, oh yeah, put this whatever. Yeah, whatever. They're gonna buy it anyway. I got too cocky with it, too confident. And I remember there was one point, this only happened maybe once or twice.
Oh, okay.
But I dropped a shoe, literally didn't sell any of them. Like maybe like 10 pair.
Jeez.
And you know, we got fucking 300, 400, 500 of them at the warehouse. You feel me? So it was like, once some shit like that happened to you, then you like, oh shit, like you have to, that's when you gotta do like what we said. You gotta look at the trends. You gotta look at the color schemes of what's pop. It's like, you can't be lazy, bro. You gotta really live this shit, bro.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I went to Coachella last weekend.
Yeah.
I came back Tuesday morning. I've been feeling like shit ever since, bro. But I got the fuck up today.
Yeah.
I went to my manufacturer and picked this shit up.
Yeah.
I fucking got home. I was about to get into bed. I'm like, gotta go do this interview.
Yeah.
And I'm here with it now, bro. And it's like, you gotta really want this shit. You gotta really fucking live and breathe this shit, bro.
Yeah.
And the people that I know that are the most successful, to, you know, from the Blasies to the Half Evils to the Hell Stars to the, you know, like these people that I know, like personally, and like, you know, watch their come ups, bro. These people live, eat, shit, breathe this shit, bro. And like, that's what I'm on right now, bro.
Hell yeah.
You know, I still got some vices to cut out. You feel me?
Sure.
Like, I need to just stop fucking with these bitches, man.
that's my worst one too.
You feel me? It's I've cleared my mind of all other fucking bullshit. And I feel like that's when you lock in, bro, is when you just got a clear mind and that's all you focused on. And like, you know, I come across these issues where like, it's like, oh, you're not paying enough attention to me, or you won't call me back, or you don't talk to me. And it's like, I literally can't give a fuck. I physically cannot give a fuck because I'm just on this mission right now, bro. And I've never felt more motivated in my life than I do right now, bro. That's on my mama, bro.
Come on.
You feel me?
It's a blessing.
And for me to even be at this point, to be clear-minded enough to even have that stance and to just be right. Like, I feel like I'm ready to take over the world now, you know?
Hell yeah.
And like, you know, I really do wish I would have had this mindset earlier in life.
Yeah.
But I'm here now and I'm here to make it happen, man. And I'm just glad to even have an audience to still be able to make this shit happen. You feel me? So shout out to everybody that's fucking with me. Shout out to everybody that's watching this.
Come on.
You feel me? Shout out to you for having me on.
Come on, my brother, my brother.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir.
Real,
Yes, sir. You know, I want to wrap this up, man. I could sit here for hours, man. Chop some shit up.
Keep going, bro.
But what's it called? I just got invited to Coachella. I'm doing some brand just invited me to go do their shit over there, so I gotta go sit up for that.
Shit, but talk about which brand.
Not yet. We gotta see if everything makes sense when I get there. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is
first time going?
No, I've gone since 2012.
Oh, you been locked in?
Yeah.
Who the fuck was performing there in 2012?
Bro, that was Tupac hologram.
That was in 2012?
Yes, bro. My shit I just posted on TikTok, so I did like some throwback, whatever. It was the hologram, Frank Ocean, Kendrick, Childish Gambino,
I just
small names.
I just seen it was like Childish Gambino brought out Kendrick, right?
Did you see it on TikTok?
I seen Rosecrans Media post that.
Okay, for sure.
Damn.
That was my, I don't know if that was the same post, but that was my post that I posted recently. She's going viral right now.
That's hard.
Yeah. What a time. But man, it's moments, right? Capturing moments, and you're like, sometimes we forget like we're living through some history. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I forget that all the time, bro. Especially because like people come up to me on a daily. People see me on a daily.
Yeah.
And they always have some random point of reference. And it's like, yo, I remember this or I remember that. And it just trips me out. I'm like, damn, like y'all remember these random ass moments that like I forgot about. But like, yeah, bro, like we literally, like you're making your own history right now. Right now in this moment.
Come on.
We're making our own history, bro. We living through this shit. You feel me?
That part.
Sometimes it's, being in the eye of the tornado, it don't feel like that. Cause you always feel like, what's the next thing? Or like, what's my, you know what I'm saying? But like, bro, even you, bro, like you gotta sit back and you gotta fucking give yourself your own flowers. And you gotta fucking realize, like, damn, bro, I'm doing this shit. And I'm pretty sure there was moments in your life where you wasn't even, this was all just a dream, bro.
For sure.
This is all. This wasn't even a plan. This was just an idea. You feel me? So be proud of yourself. Everybody that's watching, bro, you living through your own fucking history right now too. You feel me?
Come on.
On my mama, bro.
Come on. My brother, as we wrap up, so you have a new drop coming out?
Yeah, actually, I got a new drop. I haven't previewed none of it, but I got some crazy shit actually. I don't have it with me, but I'm gonna drop this like lighter sleeve.
Okay.
And it's coming out. Just know I'm not gonna get into any details, but you will see it soon. I got and it's like my first like little accessory, like
which I think is the way, like which I think is dope. Like even Blasey doing that and stuff. Like
it's been the wave. I'm late on it. I'm late on it, but I'm on it now. But yeah, bro, I got some shit cooking up with High Rollers. We got some new shoes coming out soon.
Yep.
Just man, this lighter sleeve I feel like is gonna go really crazy.
Yeah.
I do a clothing drop once a month at this point.
Right.
At this point, I'm keeping it coming, bro. I've been going crazy with the clothing drops.
Come on, put on their neck, man.
Yeah, man. But really, I'm excited. I got a bunch of new music about to drop, bro.
Let's go.
Really, like, man, I had to
remind yourself.
I had to remind myself, like, man, fuck all this podcast shit. Let me really get back on my music shit, bro. So, like, I got some new music dropping, man. Oh, listen, I went on a Community with AD and them last week, and I wiped AD on a music battle. So like, that was a real battery in my back. Once I wiped my big bro on the music stream, I'm like, bro, it's time. I got to put this shit out, man. I can't keep gatekeeping all this fire music. You feel me?
Facts.
So yeah, make sure y'all tap in with that. And make sure y'all tap in with motherfucking Reconnected every Thursday, 6 p.m. Biggest Bro YouTube, man. Follow me on Instagram at Housephone DND. Follow High Roller 777 on Instagram. If you got a problem with your order, if you waiting on your order, send us a DM, send us an email at support@don'tcrapout.com. You feel me? You ain't got to talk shit in the comments. Your order's on the way, ganger. Just know.
There you go. It's on the way. My brother Housephone, man. I appreciate you. Come on, man. I appreciate you for sharing your story.
How long did we just do right now?
Like a little hour and some change, maybe.
A little hour and some change.
You know what I'm saying? Something light for the people.
Yeah, man.
But I appreciate you for sliding through, sharing your story, bro. And we're excited to see what you got coming next.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, make sure y'all stay tuned, man.
Yeah, that part. And one more time, it's Housephone, Guap Fiend. I told you so. Don't act like I didn't tell you when I fucking see you. And on that note, we out.
We out, yeah.